So welcome back guys to another video. Okay, so in this video we'll be discussing about 28th October 2025. Okay, I just want you to have a don't skip the video because there is so many informative things that I want to share you with you. Okay, so while you can see that the quadrants that I have mentioned, I will look into it in detail. So yesterday we opened up there. There are the weak opening gaps are there, and that I just took out this uh, premium wick. Okay, so just for the reference purpose. Okay, so you can see how the market opened, went up, failed to reach the top of the thing. Yet it leave a small portion of the price that is yet to reach. Okay, about that we have a farewell here, and I just want you to have a note of 14th October 2025. Okay, so extra day 14th October 2025 Dow was taken. I don't know. It happened in Forex. Okay, I mean the Forex.com. Okay, let's check that. Low of this one is 0.686, right? So 0.788678. No, right? You can see here. Okay, low point 486. 0.486. Here low is point. Yeah, it has taken, right? Shit. What am I doing? Ah, it's taken, okay. Shit. So let's go to our main chart. So that day's law was taken, but in Europe keeps on bullish, uh, a bullish format. Okay, so you can see a good S&P up there. We are focusing on GBP only, so it only matters. Okay, now I just wanted to we'll go to an hourly chart for our. I think that one necessary for extra time because if you are okay, I actually try think to take some trades up there, but it is still 6 o'clock in the morning. Okay, that's the reason I didn't took any trades. But a trade from here was also possible because if that is left open, this is the maximum that the price can come. You could also take an entry from here. Okay, no problem. First, we will discuss this part, then we will go to the downside. Okay. So you can see that have a low, higher high, lower low. Candle closed below this low. Okay. So and you have another low, higher high, lower low. Okay, that confirms a structure shift to the downside, right? So taking reference to this point, I just wanted to have a look at this point. Okay. And before that I just want you to have a look how market, yeah, that I think yesterday I told you, right? So look at the 0.5 percentage of this weekly media because that's the point that it touches. So take that into consideration. And the 15 minutes chart, there is nothing in 15 minutes. Went to some random points. That's, 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 That's a random thing. Yes. You can see that 1 hour, right? I'm just removing it because my eye don't like to see it. Okay, so in a 15 minutes, you can see how the bodies are respecting the closing price, sorry, opening price of that new week opening gap. Okay, so opening price, right? Yeah, that's the opening price. And star should go lower. Okay, so there is nothing up here, but in 1 minute that there's a lot of details. Okay, so let's get into the it. On even a 5 minute chart also this level is being respected. Not a single candle is being disrespected. Okay, so I just want you to have a look at you have a low, higher, low, low. That's create a structure shift to the downside here. Again, you can see that a low is there, but this low has a specific meaning. Okay, so you can see there are two 5 minute candles low here. Down close candle below that 5 minute higher high, again lower. So what that becomes? That's a breaker, right? So market went over the way to that 1 hour fair value gap. Stopped right at the opening price of the weekly opening gap. Opening price of the weekly opening gap. Not even a single candle was able to move above that. I think 5 minutes and 15 minutes. Okay, that's fine. We'll go to the things in a moment. Okay, so let's see. Again, as I said, market went through it. Again, you can see the point of interest or the price re-ejecting from these points, right? It's kind of what a resistance point, right? So that's not random levels. That's the weekly opening gaps of this week, current week. Okay, so you can see that it went down a little bit like that from where and all the way to fill this Ferrari plus volume. That's not a suspension block, I think, but we have volume balance plus Ferrari up there, so fill to that. This entire Ferrari gap was reversed, creating another structure shift in lower time frame and a 5 minute structure shift up there. Okay, so now you have a low, higher, high, lower. So this becomes a breaker. And you can see that we have a like breakaway gap up like this and a like small gap like this. Okay, so trading down, we should see the at least the upper one should not be traded to. Okay, let it be up. That's good for us. Okay, so I could take an entry either from this volume balance or from this 0.5% level. And I told you to note this level, right? What's this level? On an hourly chart, I thought you about that. Told you about that uh, breaker, right? So if you just skip that one, just go back and listen to what I said. Okay, so this video is really important for you. Okay, so there's one more thing that I left open. So that's a suspension book, right? So that's a suspension book, right? So that's the suspension book. So right came to there, started broke down. So that's the thing. If I were trading pre-market, that is pre-New York section, I would have either taken entry on this level, 0.5 level, and put my stops just above the uh, high of the, let's say, high of this of fair value gap, that is like this. I would have that like this. My stops around like this 55 pips. Okay, so that's like by 5 pips, and I would have targeted for 3R is my target, but okay, how much I will get here? Let's say we target for this one, okay. So 3.5, that is their current sell side. And there is something that I want to show in the upcoming minutes. Okay, so we put our target in there. It's no problem with that. So you have a minor buy side liquidity taken up here. Again, it went lower. That's a really good portion that it left open. This 1 minute fair value gap. That's a good side of it's gonna go bearish. Okay, so where to up to what's the maximum that it would go bearish? Okay, that we will tell you. No problem. So if you are taking a trade from there, placing your stops above this fair value gap, two fair value gaps. One is a breakaway gap, and the other one is the first. You can say like first breakaway gap. Okay, so I'm just placing my stops at the top of that first breakaway or the first fair value gap after that breakdown happened. Okay, so that's where I entered if I was trading pre-market. Okay, so I mean like pre-New York section. So now we'll go down. So I just wanted to have a look at the daily chart. So that's the last sell set that I want to get it. Okay, so we can see the previous day's high here. Oh, sorry, Friday's low here. I think somewhere here is the Friday's low. Yeah, this point is the Friday's low. That will be my maximum target. Oh, that should be your maximum target. Okay. Anything above this is your lottery. Okay. I mean, anything below this is your lottery if you are going bearish, right? So if you don't need such grades, you can just exit from there itself. Okay. So no grades, nothing else. Right, now coming to the main part. Price went through this one to where? All the way to that previous, not previous week, 1 week is there, right? So this week, this particular week, okay, so this particular green candles week low, that is this daily candles low. Price went all the way to, down to take out that low there. Okay, so now what I was doing is market created. The only thing that I could actually see is this fair value gap. I was trading in this candle, okay, while I was looking at the market. This is the only fair value gap that comes to my mind after taking this liquid. Anyway, I know it needs. I don't think it will go all the way up there, and I will get a short position. Okay, so I was just studying how to uh, trade against the trend after taking a huge liquidity. Okay, so on a 5 minute chart, I think you can see. I just want you to have a note of this also. Okay. Uh, this small different value gap up there and this inverse value gap up there. Okay, so my intention of yesterday was to get this fair value gap inversed and came back there. Okay, no problem. and coming back up there. So that's a 5 minute. Let's go to 1 minute. Okay. You have to learn from all the mistakes that I have done yesterday. Okay. So now listen carefully to what I am saying. Okay. This is an important part of today's video that you are wasting time to watch. Okay. You are time to watch. Okay. So as you can see, the single candle went through it, not closed without it. In 1 minute, on a 1 minute also, it didn't close through that closing or the low of that weekly premium week. Okay, sorry, discount week. So now we are in a deep discount extra day. That weekly, sorry, daily low was taken. We are in a deep discount. Okay, so many shadow stops are weighted and triggered. Okay, now I was waiting. Okay, now I was really waiting. I just marked this 5 minute, waited for many times. Okay, so yeah, there is one more thing that I want to annotate. Okay, so you can see the weekly premium wicks have mentioned in what in this pink color, right? So and the and there is a huge gap between this one, right? What I'm gonna do is listen carefully. Okay, so if you had such a good gap, I mean like huge gaps, I just want you to have another annotation from this one to up here. Okay, so should be perfect. Okay, don't flitter or buffer or anything. Yeah, like that. Let's have our points up there. That's it. Now I was waiting. Okay, now I think you understood the sub annotation inside of the 0.75 and the closing price of that week. Okay, or the low of that week. Sorry. Now, now we will discover things closely. Okay, so market created a short time high, went below a short time low. Again, rally meaning this. There is no fair value. Sorry, meaning this fair value creating a structure shift to the upside. But these kinds of candles are not considered as a structure shift. Okay, came all the way back to where to fill and touch this 1 minute fair value gap. Okay, and if you just look closely, it came to 0.75 level of that quadrant. That's 0.75 to 1 or the low of that weekly quadrant. Okay, so 0.7 percentage of 0.7 to 1 or low of that weekly. Okay, I just want you to, my English is not that good, but I just want you to have an understanding what I was trained. Okay, say. So market came all the way, touch it, broke above that high, short term high. Now it becomes a good structure shift. Okay, and went through what that 5 minutes already gave up there, right? So while I was watching market, it went through it, respected this 1 minute. This candle becomes what? A breaker. So the mistake that I have did, learn from the mistake. Okay, this is the biggest mistake that I have did textured. While going up like this, market created what? This every time I used to get somewhat shit. Okay. Market created a show small 5 minute gap right here. Okay. I just want you to annotate. So you can see this single candle was able to close below this. Okay. I just want you to have a look at this one. Okay. The candle that formed at 1010 was able to close through that 5 minutes, but mm, due to some motions or the invisibility of the chart, I fucked up yesterday. Okay, so where does the market came? It went through it, came back to touch the zero point 0.5 level of that quadrant. Okay, that space inside of that quadrant. Okay, so that's where I ended first. Okay, making my stops below right there. Okay, so wow, I was having an invisibility of this 5 minute fair value gap and this breaker. Okay, that's the first mistake that I did here. Okay, so if I had a clear view of this 5 minute inverse fair value gap and this breaker up there, I wouldn't have exited, right? So I exited when the price closed below this 1 minute fair value gap. You can see this 1 minute fair value gap, right? So again, price went through it, exit, closed below that 5 minute and 1 minute. That's where I exited. So ended on this zero point 0.5 level of that quadrant. Placed my stops right there. I exited on this candle's closing price because I got a bad feeling. That's the reason, maybe. So I just wanted to buy whether whenever you are doing these kinds of things, I just wanted to have a look at that. Okay, make all the things in 5 minutes and 1 minute visible to you while you are watching a 1 minute chart. Okay, so everything, even I don't care about 50 minutes, but 5 minute things and 1 minute things are really, really important. Okay, so this breaker, if I draw this breaker, I could have seen that it is kind of respecting that's the price all the way come close here. So I wouldn't have exited, right? So that's it, guys. So again, it went through it, and uh, I just want you to have a look at this price action here. Okay, so what is this? We have a fair value gap, went to a fair value gap. Again, price went to a breaker and an inverse fair value gap, and the reaction from here is really, really amazing. Okay, so this particular candle was able to neglect this whole fair value gap, which cuts through a quadrant and close above it. Okay, so that's really, really good sign that it's gonna go higher. Okay, so extending my trade was like this. I just want $70 to pass my that phase one. Okay, so I ended with a around I don't know a small lot. I just that was the thing that I needed. Okay, 1:1.5 almost. I think I rest $40. I think $40, and I just want till here above somewhere here. Okay, so that's what my plan is. If I was not trading just for that money, how I would do is like I would place my stop right there, $60. I would have somewhere like that, okay, with my what you say, having my commission also get filled in. Now I just want now price went all the way through it here. We have a 5 minute capture that that went perfectly. And before I told you that I put a stop loss, sorry, target above this one, right? So actually I saw this one, but to perfect my target, I just put above somewhere here because there. What is this? We have a suspension box. Suspension box are something that is really, really, really uh, aggressive. Okay, so when price reacts from there, it's really, 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 really aggressive to the movements. Okay, so there are suspension work that I will show you, which shows aggressiveness. Okay, so in my previous video also, I think I have shown an entered from here, stop loss just below the candle, and I should have targeted for this 2.5. That's perfect, no problem in that. The second mistake that I have did is this one. I didn't target it for this suspension work because I know that it's gonna react hugely from there, right? So my target was somewhere above this suspension work. Okay, so that was the two mistake that I detected. Okay, so from the suspension block, there is not some random level or the random block that you should not skip. Okay, that's something that you should really consider in taking while taking actions. Okay, so when to the suspension block, you can see the aggressiveness of the candle itself, right? So that was a BPR, balanced price range. I didn't told you like that. When price goes above like this, it becomes a balanced price range. Okay, the price there was balanced perfectly. There is no need for the price to again come and fill that range. At least below the 50% level. But unfortunately, extra day you can see that it went all the way through it. Next candle opens through that BPR, but failed to. But the what is it? Theory of the BPR really didn't work yesterday. Okay, so that's fine. That's really fine. Okay, so while seeing such kinds of pressure, you can just wait for the next candle of the next two candles. That would be really good. So when Price did this one and it created a volume balance plus a fair value gap, right? So that's really good. And the next candle, when after price coming to this BPR, the aggressiveness of this candle was able to close above that this fair value gap and this volume balance. Again that becomes what a BPR. So I just want you to have a note of it. You will show me. And the price didn't even touch that BPR level. So this level the price hasn't touched. Okay, so since it's the maximum that I can, price didn't touch there. Okay, so price didn't touch there. Then went through it. Fine. Went to where not just some random levels. Okay, that 5 minute Bitcoin and there is this 0.75 level of that weekly pre discount week. Okay, price went there again for given a small reaction, came back to this fair value gap of the closing inside of that fair value gap. Again, you can see what's that. We have a volume balance at the top. We have a volume balance at the bottom. Price went through it, not by a single candle, just because the single candle was maybe that because of the time issue. Okay, you can see the next candle start doesn't even go a tick below, right, and went through it. So again, that's a balanced price range plus a suspension block. Okay, so price came all the way to this fair value gap up there, not touching that balanced price range and the suspension block, right? So there is another opportunity to take an entry. Okay, so while market comes down there and do this thing and created these kinds of fair value gap up there, you can directly enter on this fair value gap. Okay, making your stops just below somewhere around here like that, okay. Or you can place your stop loss as the 0.5 level. I mean entry like this $35 and max to max I will hold up is this high, okay. That's the okay now. Price created this suspension block plus this BPR. Came to that small this fair value gap but failed to reach the suspension block and balance price range. Okay, that's really nice. Went through this one. Went through that high. Again making a suspension block up there. You can just see that the fair value gap. But there's a small till volume balance down there and volume balance up there, so it makes it a suspension block, okay. So you can see when price comes to that suspension block, the aggressiveness of the price to go higher, right? So that's what I told about never skip some suspension block if you see some, okay. So you can see the price came this single candle came with an aggressiveness to the downside, but since it was suspension block, it reversed from there, taking this small time this what is it, the suspension block and when X throw it again roast. Uh, and what I did was in the beginning of the video I told you about the trade that I have took from here, right? So it triggered all the 3R from there. Okay, so and again it went through it after taking this high again came to this inverse parallel cap. After it become go through it, it becomes this parallel cap becomes an inverse, right? Become an inverse, taken up this high where it went to some random levels, right? So it went to some random levels. Fine, that's really fine for me. So I haven't watched after this part of the market, okay? So because the max to max I sit under. So the sit for the market is till 11:30. Okay. After that, I have no interest in trading. So went perfectly to the 0.5 or the upper quadrant of that quadrant. Okay. I mean the 0.5 to 1 value of that week. Okay. So perfectly aligned. Or the price didn't even go below a single tick. Single tick was gone. Just ignore it. Okay. So went through this Ferrari gap and this Ferrari gap, making that as a barren price range which you don't want the market to come up again, right? That's a BPR again. So you can take an entry here, right here at the 0.75 of that weekly wick, and you can place your stops just below 0.5 percentage, 0. The consequent encroachment of this 1 minute fair value. Target for this relative equal highs. That's really perfect trade that if you haven't get any trade from the any of the here, okay. So what we have a small minor sell side taken. Price came to what? Not to some random levels, okay. So this is what I told you, okay. So this is something that I just want you to have a look at this, okay. Came to the suspension block plus that BPR. Since it is a suspension block, I told you the price may react aggressively from this point, right? So it reacted aggressively from this point, came back to touch the 0.75 level, went up there. Okay, so that's the target, all target confirmed. So that was perfect. Okay, so I think you have a clear idea about what I have shown. today, right? So I just want you to pakka have a screenshot of this one because this is really really important. Okay. I just want you to have a note of this one also. Sorry here in the stop loss below. Wait, I will just add that one also. So I have take you can take the screenshot everything you need. Okay, so on this day I have learned about the mistake and the price action, how the BPR works, how the suspension works plus BPR works, and how the if there is a suspension block above that is before your target, right, to take the TP there. Okay, try to place the target price there. Okay, that's what I have learned today. Really, a really good day yesterday for the price action to be studied. Okay, so I think you take the screenshot, everything. I think that's all for the day, guys. That there's nothing more. I think you have learned something from today's video. Okay, so that's all for the day. Have a nice day. We'll see you in the next video. Okay, bye.